What caused the collapse? Kirk.
Dina, this is where it happened right here. This section of canal bank, about 15 to 20 feet. You can see this soft dirt, which is what they've been packing and packing back onto this spot. The canal bank collapsed around 6:30 last night. Take a look at that big piece of concrete. That was actually wedged underneath the road, and the force of the water on the canal, which is on the other side over here, the force of the water pushed this out, and so now they are going to try to take this piece of reinforcing concrete and wedge it back underneath the road here where the tunnel is, so that water can continue flowing through the canal. Now, what happened last night? Water burst through the canal banks and flowed all the way down here to Westgate. Fortunately, there's a large field there which probably absorbed much of the water. The suspect, we are told, got out of his car, jumped off of the bridge and into the Rio Grande River, and then swam into Mexico. I don't know how far of a drop that is. Clearly a very good drop. This man did not want to be caught, swam into Mexico. We understand Mexican authorities did also come very close to the border of the bridge as well and have been involved in the search for this suspect on the Mexican side of the border. This, again, still a developing story. We are trying to piece together some of the basic facts on this in terms of exactly what precipitated this chase. Let me show you something. This has been part of the problem out here, this sandy terrain. We're going to go now to the video that we shot earlier in the day. You're going to see the smoke in the distance billowing up into the sky. Check the inspection stickers on any of these carnival rides yourself. For example, they're right here, usually near the controller. Kenny's Funland Carnival. This inspected August of 2011, expires August of 2012. Now, I've checked most of the rides at this carnival and they're all exactly the same, all inspected last August, so they're all good until next August. Frankly, this is as close as we are going to get. This is still a horrible, nasty, toxic mess. It's smoking, it's burning, it's fuming. We can taste it, we can smell it, it's burning our eyes, and it's not just us. There are some folks that are half-mile away. They've been breathing this for 24 hours. So the area is almost perfectly made for smuggling. It's got landmarks, trails, and with all this brush and all these little side trails here, plenty of places to hide. So it's bad enough that, as you can see, Mrs. Moore said she clearly did not want a smart meter and she has one, but as if to add insult to injury, right next door, they still have one of the old analog meters. Zoller's family says after he left the bar, he tried to walk home maybe about a mile or so through this neighborhood to get to his mother's house, just a couple of houses from here. They say he probably fell down a couple of times on the way, and eventually he collapsed here in this field on the southwest corner of the intersection of 9th and Sunset. What we don't know right now is exactly how long these people were in here for, but obviously they had settled in for what appears to be a pretty long stay. There were some large jugs of water, as you can see, plenty of trash, and a huge bag of rice here, so even for more than 40 people that we counted coming out, this might have lasted for at least a little bit of time. Perhaps not surprisingly, in this modern age, the origins of this horse thievery may not have begun here at the ranch, but instead the outlaws may have found their targets here, on the computer, where it turns out Trejo had listed the animals for sale on Craigslist. So Mr. Garza said that little pile of tires up on the front road wasn't really anything, and he was right. Check out this huge pile. We've got a nebulizer, some medical waste here, and then all these tires and this other trash, which continues back into this field. We've called some folks from the county. They say they're on their way over to check it out. This group of illegals from Guatemala and Honduras along FM 1017 in Lynn. The latest detainees caught in the dragnet working their way north.
They were out here for 3 days with no food or water.
We do need to have this area secure. It's not a secure area.
The illegals don't surprise Fred Capadona. He's lived here for 40 years. Immigrant smuggling and the damage it can cause, nothing new for him.
We don't know if they're friendly or not. We've had incidents in the past where they robbed my father-in-law's house and tore it up, and the uncle's house across the street tore it all to pieces and robbed it.
The hazards that come with a steady stream of illegal traffic, also a fact of life for Capadona's grandsons.
They could be kidnappers, illegal immigrants from Mexico that illegally come from across the Rio Grande, so you're not going to be so sure if they're going to be good or nice, kidnap you or not.
As we spoke, this DPS helicopter hovers to our west. Just a few miles from Capodona's ranch, we find Precinct 4 constables and the group they had tracked down.
They were being chased by a law enforcement agency. They bailed out and they started walking in the brush, and their guide left them.
Capodona showed us another smuggler's landmark near his property.
They'll drop off here and they'll pop the fence and they come right down this little trail right here. You know, right back here in the brush, and they hide and they either wait for another pickup or continue on north.
He had only been parked about a minute when we saw this man walking along the road.
Al norte para trabajar, sí, trabajar cuál es la ciudad de Houston.
He told me he was from El Salvador. He said he had gotten separated from his group. He wanted to know how long it would take to get to Highway 281. I wished him luck. We watched him walk away. His ultimate destination, Houston, work, and his dream of a better life. Around 8 last night, it begins with a report of someone putting something into the trash in a neighborhood near Rio Grande City High School. The fire department called out to investigate. And you mentioned that originally a firefighter picked one of the canisters up and felt something a little odd.
He picked one up, and that's when they immediately got concerned because he said it felt hard to touch, almost like it was pressurized perhaps.
Mayor Ruben Villarreal shows us a photo of one of the suspicious objects.
Probably 6-8 inches tall, maybe 2 inches circumference.
In all, police would find about a dozen canisters left near homes just off FM 3167 on Santa Elena Lane, Santa Maria Lane, and San Roberto Road. More than 40 homes evacuated.
I've been calling every hour to the PD and they don't let us in.
And so what went through your mind when you heard there was a bomb threat in there?
That I don't want to go back. I mean, it's strange because it's such a peaceful neighborhood. I've been living here for 7 years.
The way the canisters were set up, it was very unusual. We even found one in our municipal park right next to our restroom facilities, so it caused an extra suspicion.
By around 10, the McAllen bomb squad called in to dispose of the canisters. Investigators checking mailboxes along the streets. Around 10:45, the call comes in. Several armed suspects holding up an 8-liner business west of the city. Police cars could be seen speeding up and down several streets for another half hour or so. About 30 minutes after that, this overwhelming show of force. Rio Grande City Police, Starr County Sheriff's deputies, and state troopers converge on a convenience store parking lot at Highway 83 and FM 3167. 4 men arrested. Sources say police also confiscate weapons, ski masks, and cash.
I want to call it organized, systematic, I want to say thought out situation where canisters were being used to create a sense of panic.
By midnight, people evacuated from the neighborhood, still waiting to get back to their homes.
Well, I have all my stuff for my baby. I have my baby at home with my mom, and I can't get anything for her. Around
1 this morning, the bomb squad clears the neighborhood. The mayor says none of the devices turn out to be explosive. No word this morning on whether the suspects in the armed robbery and chase might be the same people who placed what turned out to be apparent decoy devices throughout a quiet neighborhood. Kirk Chaisson, Channel 5 News this morning, Rio Grande City. They come from the streets of Cameron County, guilty of crimes.
Burglarized vehicles and evading arrest.
Juveniles under the age of 18.
When I first got here, it was a big challenge for me to change to become like in the military way.
Faced with a choice, jail or boot camp.
I think it's going to help me out in my life.
They've chosen a new path. We can't show faces or give names because of their age. Cadet 21 is from Harlingen.
I was always messing up and like I would never listen.
You can see right here it started to leak. The paneling is coming apart.
Angela Ramirez lives in Brownsville. She grew up here, was born here, in this house.
Since 1937.
She asked the city for help repairing her roof.
I have a leak. My roof is leaking right here.
Well, it looks like the roof is about ready to fall down.
Right, yeah.
They told her it would be cheaper for her to get a whole new house. The boot camp cadets are building that house.
The value of work, and that's what we're trying to teach them, the value of work.
The cadets learn a new skill. They build a few of these a year.
See right here, the kitchen is falling.
Angela Ramirez is happy about this one.
I can't wait to go and see it.
Each home takes several months to build. The cadets construct the home nail by nail, board by board. As it transforms, so do they.
I've seen juveniles that have come through here, bad attitude, not wanting to amount for anything. I mean, just wanting to do drugs and drink. To when they graduate, I've actually ran into one while I was going to college, and they still have that discipline.
Cadet 12 is now more than 3 months into the boot camp. He has moved from level 1 to level 3. Instead of the orange jumpsuit, he has a camouflage uniform.
I feel more presentable. Like when I see my mom in visitation, I don't feel actually like a criminal. I actually feel like a person.
The house takes shape over months. Then,
Oh, it's pretty.
Angela Ramirez gets a first look.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this was the one I was going to get. I didn't have the slightest idea, and I was all amazed when I came in. And look at all these cabinets.
Cadet 12 is here today, too. He's now a graduate of the boot camp. His name, David Jimenez.
I ain't trying to go back to the way I used to live. For right now, I'm cutting yards with my brother-in-law every time we get a chance. I'm not even asking my mom for money. Before I came here, I was lazy to work. Now when they tell me to go cut a yard for some money, I get up real quick and I go, no hesitation.
When you associate yourself with people out in the real world, as you leave this place and you go back out, choose to associate yourself with positive people, the people that are going to put you in the right direction.
The right direction for Angela Ramirez is moving her home onto her land, then moving in.
Oh, it feels great. It feels wonderful just to have another beautiful house, the one I got, because I wasn't expecting this beautiful house. And I feel so comfortable and so happy.
Finally, it's done.
I'm going to have air-conditioned central air, and I won't be suffering like I used to.
Angela Ramirez has a new roof. This one does not leak. The cadets who built it are starting new lives. In San Benito, the cadence of the boots continues. Another family is in need. Another group of young lives is about to change. In San Benito, Kirk Chaisson, Channel 5 News at 10:30.